name is Mendoza. Today I'm going to show you how to do a coolant change on your 2005 Volvo XC90. Some of the important things we'll need is some gloves, some protective clothing, some pants, no shorts, and closed-toe shoes, so no sandals, no Crocs. We'll also need our protective eyewear. The equipment we'll be using today is a funnel, a Phillips head screwdriver, and we'll be using a syringe here to check our coolant, the texture of our coolant, to see if it's good or not. We'll also need a clean oil pan to drain out all the coolant. The next thing you would want to do is pop open the hood, and before you start with anything, before you start touching around the engine, you want to make sure you can let the engine cool down if you had it running. You know, you don't want to get yourself burnt or anything. But you know, as soon the engine is cooled down, next you want to locate the coolant reservoir, and then next you want to remove the cap and inspect the cap. You want to look for any damages, any cracks, or any scratches or anything. As you can see, it's good. And then you check the reservoir too, see if there's any cracks or anything to worry about. And then next we got our syringe, and we put our syringe inside the reservoir to check the coolant. As you can see, there's some dirt and grime inside the coolant, and it shows that we're gonna have to do a coolant change inside. Next, we get under the car, and then we locate the petcock, which is usually next to the radiator. And as we can see, it's our petcock blue. Other times in different cars, it'll be a different color. Next, what we gotta do is get our screwdriver. It can be a flathead or a Phillips screw, and then start unscrewing the petcock, but we gotta make sure to not remove it, or else next the coolant will drip out, and we gotta let it drip out for a few minutes. And then after it's done dripping, we just gotta make sure to tighten it, but make sure not too tight or else it will break. Next, as soon as we get up from under the car, we will place a funnel in the coolant reservoir, and then we'll get our coolant that we'll be using. As of right now, we'll use an all-vehicle coolant, but most cars have a recommended type of coolant. And if you're ever going to change the type of coolant, it is recommended that you flush all the other remaining coolant in the vehicle, so there's no issues between the coolants. And now we pour our coolant into the reservoir. We make sure we fill it up to the recommended line that is shown in the reservoir. And after you pour in the recommended amount, next you just simply remove the funnel, place the cap on tight, and then finally you just let the car run for a few minutes so the coolant flows through the engine, and that's how you change.